Hi everyone, welcome to FRM Tutorial. In today's video, we are going to go through a May-June 2018 past paper for Family and Resource Management. I'll read each question aloud and I'll work through the problem step by step, explaining my thought process along the way. As we work through these questions, you'll see how important it is to have a good understanding of the concepts that were taught in your class. Now, I will break down each question and demonstrate how problem-solving process can be used to help you to answer questions. I hope to help you to better prepare for your upcoming examination. Question 2. Question 2 asks for us to define each of the following terms: goals, values, attitudes. Goals. What are goals? Goals are targets that an individual sets out to achieve. They are objectives we want to attain. Goals give direction to our actions. Your goals cover what is it that you want to be, what you want to do, and what you would want to have. Values. What are values? Values are learned beliefs that an individual considers to be worthwhile, important, and desirable. It can also be defined as those cherished beliefs that influences behavior. Values can also be defined as personal guidelines that are used to establish what is useful or desirable. Our values are what we prize in life. It is what we consider to be important. It is what we consider to be worthwhile as learned beliefs. They are beliefs that we hold dearly to our hearts. Goals are developed from your values because your values may be considered as your source of goals. What better to direct our goals but our values? Because remember now, your values are those things that you show interest in. You find those things to be important. You find those things to be desirable. You find those things interesting. So when you value something in life, when you value something, you're going to find that thing to be important. And so you're going to invest all your time and your effort into achieving these goals because you find them important, you value them, you prize them. And that leads me now into the next definition, which is attitudes. Attitudes is the way a person behaves or acts towards something or someone, which shows how you think or how you feel. Values influence our attitudes and behavior, how we perceive things. Values are important as they form the basis for understanding our attitudes and what drives us. That is our motivation. So you show others what you value or what your values are based on what is it that you say, what you do, or you act, or you react. So you'll find that you react to things based on what your values are. You make choices and decisions based on what is it that you value, how important you consider these things to be, how prized or worthwhile or desirable this thing is to you. Part B of number 2 is a scenario relating to values. It reads, before James went to college, he attended church regularly with his family. He also spent one afternoon per week at the community center, volunteering to teach seniors how to use the computer. Upon graduation from college, he got a job as a computer technician and stopped doing volunteer work. He also stopped worshiping with the family and began going to the beach with his friends instead. Part B1 of the question asks for us to identify two values displayed by James prior to graduation. It is okay to reread the question and underline the actions that were carried out by James in the scenario for you to identify the values of James before graduation. So we could say that James' values displayed before he graduated are religion, family, and volunteerism. Religion, because let's look at his attitude towards religion. He would normally go to church regularly with his family. Family could also be identified as a value that James holds there dearly, because he would spend time with his family by going to church. Another thing that James did was volunteering to teach seniors. So we could say that James valued volunteering. B2 asks for us to outline two ways in which each of the values identified in B1 has changed after James graduated from college. Now, remember, we have identified religion, family, and volunteerism as values that James had before graduation. Now we have to focus on those three values that were given, or two values, because that's what the question asks for, two values. You're going to have to focus on those and establish how after graduation these values have changed based on what is given in the scenario. So the scenario is very important. Now let's take religion. How did the value of religion change after he graduated? What is it that he did after graduation that we should indicate now that his value of religion has changed? He stopped attending church with his family, and instead he started going to the beach with his friends. We could also say that his value for family has now changed after graduation because he stopped spending time with them at church. He used to attend church with them. Now he has stopped and he's now attending the beach, so going to the beach rather, with his friends. His value of volunteerism has also changed because he has now stopped volunteering to help the senior citizens to learn the computer, and now he has started to work. B3 is a follow-up to the same question about James. It asks for you to explain how any two new experiences may have influenced the changes in James's values after his graduation. Remember that our values come from our personal experiences. It may come from our family, it may come from our friends, it comes from religion, it comes from the media, all right? It can come from other people who you're associated with. And so this question is asking you to say how the new experience that James is now going through would have, spurred the changes that has occurred. Now, let's look at it. James started earning money, he started working. And what was he doing before? He was volunteering. Now, it would appear he has no more time to volunteer, and he may believe that volunteering is no more worth his while because he's now benefiting from doing something that he loves. He's now working and getting money, right? So that is one way in which the new experience is that he's now working, and so he may no longer find volunteering to be interesting or worth his time and his effort and his energy. All right. Another could be that he finds hanging out with his friends more interesting, more fun, right? So he now values recreation more over religion or spending time with his family. So he now enjoys his interaction with his peers. Question 3A. Classify the following resources under the headings human resources or non-human resources. Now, remember, Resources are the things we use to achieve our goals, and they can be divided into two groups or categories or classification known as human and non-human. What are human resources? We need to make sure that we know that in order for us to correctly classify the words or the terms or the resources given. The resources given are books, knowledge, money, and skills. So how is it that we're going to classify them? Let's quickly review what human resources and non-human resources are. Human resources include the qualities of the individual along with other resources like time, while non-human resources are those tangible things that we can find in our environment, whether these things are made by man or they are found naturally in the environment, which means that they are natural resources. So non-human resources are tangible and they can be natural or they can be man-made. With knowledge of that, how will you classify books, knowledge, money, and skills? If you consider placing books and money under non-human resources, then you are correct. These two are man-made resources, they are tangible, and so they belong under non-human resources. Knowledge and skills, those are all inner qualities of an individual, and so you will place those under human resources. 3B. 3B asks for us to state the meaning of time management. What is time management? Time management is the way we organize and distribute time between activities with the aim of maximizing productivity or the amount of work that we get done and eventually achieving the goals that we set out to achieve. Let's consider that we have activities to be completed. We can only complete those activities if we have enough time to complete the activities. Now, what you'll be required to do is to organize how you'll get these activities done in the given time so that you'll make good use of the time and manage your time well in order to complete all these activities in the time given. A perfect example would be when you have your practical exercises to carry out and you have 2.5 hours in which to complete all the tasks that the SBA requires. Now you'd have to do some pre-preparation. You'll also have to utilize your labor-saving devices. You'll also have to utilize some work simplification techniques that will help you now in order to complete all the given tasks within the time. So now that will show that you're being productive. It shows now that you will have maximized on the time. Now by the end of the practical, how best you were able now to complete all the tasks. If you were able to complete all of your dishes within the given time, then you could say that you have utilized time management well, or you didn't utilize your time well, you didn't manage your time well if it is that you did not complete all of your dishes within the time given. Let's now move on to part C of number 3. It reads, the following activities are carried out in most homes on a weekend. The activities are: do the laundry using a washing machine, go to the grocery or food store or supermarket, pay bills, prepare breakfast, go to the hairdresser or barber. Now part C, 1, asks for us to explain how each of the following work simplification strategies may be used to help a family make good use of its time and energy in carrying out the tasks listed above. The techniques given are dovetailing and clustering. A notation is also there to indicate that this family has to take public transportation. Let's review what is it that the question has asked us to do. It is okay to take your pencil and underline exactly what the question wants us to do. Firstly, it wants us to explain how each of the work simplification technique, that's dovetailing and clustering, may be used to help a family make good use of its time and energy. So we want to establish how dovetailing can be used to help the family to make good use of time and energy in carrying out the tasks that are listed. You're going to do the same thing with clustering. You're going to explain how it can be used to help the family to make good use of its time and energy in carrying out the task listed. So here goes. Before we attempt this question, remind ourselves what is dovetailing. Now, when you're dovetailing, you have several activities going on at the same time until they're all completed. So basically, you are multitasking. When you cluster, you are completing tasks that are related or they're located to one area before you move on or you go on to another area or another set of tasks. So, in response to this question, to explain how the family can make good use of its time and energy by carrying out using these techniques to carry out these activities, here is what I have put together. By dovetailing, the family would be making good use of its time and energy by carrying out several tasks at the same time until they are all completed. So you're showing knowledge of dovetailing to now indicate how the family will actually use dovetailing to carry out the activities. Now you support your answer with an example using the activities that were outlined. Example: preparing breakfast while doing the laundry, using the washing machine, and paying the bills online. By doing this, it helps to minimize motion and so utilizes less energy, and the task is completed within a quicker or faster time. By clustering, the family would be making good use of its time and energy by completing tasks that are located or related to one area before moving on to another. Therefore, the family would do the tasks which are located at home before leaving to go to complete the other tasks which are to be carried out elsewhere. Example: prepare breakfast, do laundry at home, then take public transport to go to the hairdresser or the barber, go to the supermarket, and or pay the bills while they're in the supermarket. By completing tasks this way, less effort is used in going back and forth to complete the various tasks, and therefore less time is also utilized. Can you imagine all the energy and time that would be utilized if this family were to go to the supermarket and then go back home, only to go back on the road to get their hair done, to come back and to wash? Therefore, this has a lot now to you organizing the activities that you have using work simplification techniques in order to maximize on time and energy use. In continuing this question, it indicates that the following items are on the family's shopping list. Remember, the family was to go to the supermarket or the grocer or the food store. So they have indicated these items on the shopping list: bread, cheese, eggs, fresh chicken, frozen ground beef, pasteurized milk, spinach, and tomatoes. And they want you to state the best numbered position for the activity. Go to the grocer or food store or supermarket listed in C. Give 2 reasons for your answer. Now, all this is asking for you to do is to look back at the activities given and state at what number, if you were to put them in order, what number would go to the grocer or food store or supermarket be listed. So we have to go back to the question and organize them. With knowledge of all of these activities that are carried out by the family, you have to consider what is it that will be done first, second, and third, and fourth. There are 5 activities. Now, you have do the laundry, you have go to the grocer, pay the bills, prepare breakfast, go to the hairdresser. Think about that and say how is it that you would arrange them and what number would go to the grocer be. Would it be first, second, third, fourth, or fifth? If I were to do this question, I would do the laundry, I would prepare breakfast, and those would be 1 or 2. Right, those will be listed according to 1, 2, pay the bills, 3, go to the hairdresser, 4, and I would put go to the grocery, number 5. I would do that last, and that's what the question has asked us to do, to indicate at what number you would place that activity, and you're to give your reasons why. How many reasons? 2. Here are my reasons. Reason 1. The family is taking public transportation home and will find it difficult to travel with all the grocery to another location. That is, if they were supposed to take it back to the supermarket, to take the grocery back to the hairdresser and then put the items down until they are ready. So that's one of my reasons. The other reason is that if the items are purchased before the family is ready to go home, the grocery that is purchased will be contaminated. Remember that you have fresh chicken, you have frozen meat items, right? You have eggs, you have tomatoes. So all of those things, they can be contaminated by bacteria, or they can be damaged throughout the traveling, the transition from one place to another. So those are my 2 reasons. Number 4, define each of the following terms. The terms are green consumer, comparative shopping, and unit price. A green consumer is a person who buys goods that are environmentally friendly. These goods did not cause any harm to the environment during their production. Green consumer can also be defined as consumers who want to buy things that have been produced in a way that protects the natural environment. These persons are known as green consumers. So these persons, they will purchase green products such as cloth or cotton shopping bags because they will not be used to destroy the natural environment. Rechargeable batteries, LED bulbs, so things like those, green consumers will invest their money in. Comparative shopping. Comparative shopping is the process of comparing similar goods and services in order to find the best quality or the best buy. Comparative shopping involves you visiting at least 3 different stores in order to gather information, ask questions concerning the price, concerning delivery, the service, the guarantee, the installation, so that you find the best quality at an affordable price, at a very good price. Most times we consider an affordable price to be a price that is reasonably low, but you're receiving good quality for the amount of money that you have to spend in comparison to what other places may be offering it at. Unit price. Unit price is the price for one item or measurement of a product being sold. It is the price per pound, per kilogram, pint, dozen, quart of the item. So let's take, for example, I have the example here of 12 ounces of soup, which costs $240. Now, if you want to find the unit price, you want to find, in other words, now, if it's 12 ounces, you want to find the cost of 1 ounce. So how much is it per ounce? So here we would have to divide 240 by 12 in order to get the unit price. How much is it that 1 ounce of this soup costs? The result here would be $20. So that's per ounce. That's 1 unit of measure. All right. Now, we could also look on it this way. We have 10 apples selling at a cost of $1,000. What would you do to find out the unit price? To find out the unit price, basically we want to find out how much is the cost for one of the apples within this bag of 10 apples. Here, you will divide the 1,000 by 10 in order to get the cost of 1 apple. If you did the math and you got $100, then you are correct. Therefore, this means that 1 apple costs $100. So 10 would be for $1,000. So the unit price per number of apple that is in this bag is $100. Number 4B asks for us to explain 3 social factors that could influence the spending habits of a teenager from a low-income family. 3 social factors that could influence the spending habits of a teenager from a low-income family. We want to identify 3 social factors. We want to also consider that this teenager is from a low-income family. So all of these things are important in how you're going to explain the information that you're going to be putting forth in your explanation. Social factors. What are social factors? Now, consider that as human beings, we are also social beings. And the society and the people that are around us influence what is it that we buy, our buying behavior, our spending habits. Now, human beings try to imitate other humans and nurture a desire to be socially accepted. Hence, their buying habits, their spending habits is influenced by other people who are around them. Some of the social factors can be the family. So now remember that the family is a low-income family. So they have little money to spend, not as much as a family who is earning a lot of money like the middle class and the upper class. You also can refer to reference groups. In this case, the teenagers' reference group would be their peer group. And you can also consider the family status, the status of the family. Now, if we look on the family plays a significant role in shaping how the teenager would spend money, right? So this teenager will build his or her preferences based on them growing up, watching their family, seeing the type of products that their family spends their money on. Because remember now that the family is the first unit of socialization. So they're going to be learning a whole lot about spending money from their family, how the family spends money, what is it that they spend their money on. And so as they grow older, they're going to emulate the spending patterns or the spending habits of their family. They go out there, this teenager is a part of a family. They go out there, they're also going to be a part of a reference group called their peers. Now, they want to also be socially accepted by their peers. They're associated with these persons. And so, of course, these persons are from different family backgrounds as well. And they are going to purchase items. And as a teenager, you want to also be buying the things that your friends and your peers are buying. You want to be wearing the same shoes. You want to be eating the same type of food that your friends are buying or your friends are eating. Now, you will also develop a spending habit like that of your friends. But you can only do that if it is that you have enough money in order to buy these things. And so this is how you now see teenagers either saving towards items to achieve to obtain those items that their peers have, right? You also look at family status as a social factor. Now, the family's status, the person's status is based on the role that they play in society. What position is it that they are in society? Remember, this teenager is from a low-income family, so therefore they will not be purchasing things that are of high value unless it is that they save. So they will want to spend on things that are cheaper, things that are within their means that they can afford to purchase. Not like probably their friends who are from situation or a family background where they have more money to spend on luxurious items. 4C shows an advertisement for a department store, and it indicates that a department store has put out the following advertisement for its back-to-school sale on children's shoes. You are asked to read the advertisement carefully and answer the questions that follows. Back-to-school sale on children's shoes. Buy one, get one at half price on all children's shoes. Get a free school bag with any purchase over $50 US. All sales final. A parent of 2 children aged 9 and 11 wants to take advantage of the sale at the department store. You are asked to outline 2 guidelines that the parents should consider before making a decision to purchase shoes for the children. Answers that I have formulated are: 1. The parent would need to find out the quality of the material used to make the shoes and if it is in good condition. Remember now that you're making a decision, or the parent is making a decision to purchase shoes from a store based on a sale that is going on, and the sale is final, meaning that when they purchase the shoes, if anything is wrong with it or if it doesn't fit, that they cannot return it because the sale is final. No exchange and no refund. Now that parent would have been making a decision now to give up their right to redress. However, the next guideline that I have indicated is the parent would need to ensure that the shoe sizes are correct before making the decision to purchase. They would also need to find out the cost of the shoes and compare it at other stores to determine if he or she will make the best buy. The parent, another guideline to follow, is that they will have to determine how much money he or she has and what is the total cost of the shoes to be purchased. So you have to find out how much money is it that I have to spend on the shoes, even though there's a sale going on right here. Is it that I need, and what if I need this to maximize on this and get the school bag? Would it be cost effective for me? Could I go to another store and spend less to get the shoes and also buy a school bag? Okay, we are now at number 5. Number 5A asks for us to define each of the following terms: work ethics, leisure, and employability. Work ethic. Work ethic is the ability to maintain moral values within the workplace, or it is the attitude that shapes the way an individual performs their jobs, or it is the attitude that shapes the way an individual performs their job duties with high standards. Leisure. Leisure refers to the time in which someone is not working or is occupied. This is their free time, like relaxing on the beach. Employability. Employability is the attributes of a person which enables them to gain or acquire and maintain employment. It can also be defined as the ability to become and remain employed. The ability for you to become and remain employed all has to do with the attributes that you have acquired, right? Which will enable you to get that job and remain in the job. Part B. The Marley Community Youth Club wants to put on a Christmas function to treat seniors and children. Construct a draft proposal to obtain sponsors for the event by completing the details of the following elements in the table. One of the elements has already been done for you. Now, the first element which was done is that it asks who is the host. Now, the host of this event is the Marley Community Youth Club. Now, the next element that we should give the details for is the objectives. What are the objectives for this function? They are to put on a Christmas function, 2, to treat seniors and children. The other element is target audience. The audience, 1, seniors, 2, children. We're expecting that these persons will be at the event. Remember, it indicates that the Marley Community Youth Club wants to put on a Christmas function to treat seniors and children. So it clearly states that. So the target audience, who is it that the function is aimed towards? Who is it that they're targeting? What are some possible activities? That's the other element. I have indicated Christmas caroling. It's a Christmas function, so we'd expect that they're going to be singing some Christmas carols. They could do a tree lighting ceremony. They could carry out a Christmas role play. They would be serving beverages or refreshments, exchange of gifts, and gift presentations. So those are some possible activities that I have indicated. Another element that you're supposed to complete is the venue. You're not just going to write where you would host this or where the Marley community will host this function, but you're also asked to include details of the suitability of the venue. What makes this venue suitable? In my opinion, this event is best kept at the Marley Community Center. Now, the detail as to why this venue is suitable is because I consider that the center would have proper facilities for food preparation and for bathroom use for easy cleanup by the children and the seniors that are there. So they'll find it to be more comfortable where they can use bathroom, where they will be able to get food and prepare food there. And another reason is because this is out of danger. It's not being held on the street, so there's no possibility or minimal possibility of the children being on the road playing, and the activities are going on and there are cars driving in the streets. And finally, the last element used to complete this proposal would be the budget categories. Now, what is it that you'll be budgeting money towards? You'll be budgeting money towards food, furniture rental, entertainment, and the purchase of gifts or treats. 6A. List 3 ways by which housing can be legally acquired. How is it that we can get housing? We can lease or rent, we can inherit, we can build, and we can buy. So those are 4 ways in which housing can be legally acquired. B. List 3 types of multi-family dwellings from which a small family may select suitable housing. Multi-family dwellings refer to houses that contains multiple stories that many families live on the same property. So buildings like apartment buildings where on one plot of land you have one big house and it has many different apartments within the building where many families occupy. It could also refer to a townhouse where you have multiple houses that are attached together in a row. Within these houses, you find different families living in their separate dwellings, but they're on one plot of land. A duplex. Duplex is 2 separate independent cottage-like houses that are joined together by a single wall or by a carport. So here again we have 2 houses that are joined together by a single wall or a carport. So we can consider that to be a multi-family dwelling because you have more than one family living on this piece of property, even though they're in separate housing, but the house is adjoining the other. Part C of number 6 gives another scenario relating to housing. It reads, newlyweds Jonas and Karen are expecting their first baby and have decided to purchase a house. The couple has to make a choice between the following houses which are being sold for the same price. House A, a 2-bedroom, 2-story multi-family dwelling house with 1.5 bathrooms and a small front and backyard space. Or House B. House B is a 2-bedroom bungalow with 1 bathroom, a small veranda, and ample yard space. For each house identified, you are asked to identify 2 desirable features that would appeal to the couple and state one advantage of each feature. Now let's look at House A. House A is a 2-bedroom house. House B is also a 2-bedroom house. But House House A indicates that it's a two-story multi-family dwelling. That indicates to me that this house is a townhouse. House B clearly indicates that this is a bungalow. Now you're asked to identify two desirable features for both house A and house B. And for each feature that you have identified, you are going to give an advantage for it. So you're going to end up giving one advantage, for each feature. Two desirable features that I have found for house A are 1.5 bathroom. Now my advantage for that is that this 1.5 bathroom will allow for flexibility and convenience with the use of the bathroom space if the main bathroom is in use. So if one person is using the bathroom and the other wants to use the bathroom, there's a guest, they can always use the half bathroom instead of sitting around to wait on the use of that main bathroom. Unless it is that the person wants to take a shower, because a half bathroom does not carry a shower. Another feature is the small front and backyard space. We could turn that to be an advantage to say that it provides for privacy and a more controlled environment to monitor the child as the child grows. And another reason would be that there is less space for them to care and maintain. The fact that it's a multi-family dwelling could also be a desirable feature, because this indicates for a greater sense of security or community. You're closer to your neighbor, right? And then let us look at house B. House B feature. Two desirable feature for me. One, ample yard space. The advantage for that is that the yard space will give them the accommodation for them to carry out family outdoor activities, space for the child to play safely as he or she grows up. And the final desirable feature for me is that there is a 2-bedroom bungalow. Now, the bungalow, if you remember, is a 1-story house that is usually low with a wide veranda. Because the bungalow is usually a 1-story house, it means that all amenities are on one floor. And so this provides for ease of access to all rooms on one floor. So you don't have to be going up and down a staircase or worry about the child falling on the stairs. And the last question, part 2. State 2 precautions the newlyweds should take prior to moving in to avoid a fire in their new home. So what safety precautions should they take before they move into the house in order to prevent a fire or to avoid a fire in their new home? Here are my suggestions. Hire a certified electrician to check the wiring of the house. 2. Check that there are no leaking gas lines. 3. Change or fix all broken or faulty electrical outlets. And 4. Install smoke detectors. Thank you for tuning in to this FRM tutorial. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel for more tutorials on family and resource management. Now, good luck on your examinations.